everyone. Do you have wax melts laying around? Leftover candles? Candles that just won't light anymore? My name's Caitlin Field, and I'm going to show you how to make a new candle from the old remnants that you have laying around. My audience? Alright, let's get started with the candle that just won't light anymore. If you use a wax burner, you can skip the first step. Go ahead and grab your kitchen pot, your tongs, your tweezers, and a popsicle stick or a shish kebab stick. Go ahead, fill the bottom of your pot with like 1 to 2 inches of water, just enough to cover the bottom. Bring to a boil, but not enough to go inside your candle. You don't want to mix the water with the wax. Go ahead, set that to boil. While that's getting ready, use your kitchen tongs and just practice picking up your candle. You don't want to go too high up or too low, just kind of somewhere in the middle. You're going to want to place it in the water, and it's going to be hot, so you don't want it to splash or drop it into the water. It will cause a burn. We're going to need a hot glue gun for the next step, so go ahead and plug that in as well so that it gets warm. We'll go over the supplies that you'll need. You'll need oil or something to scent your candle wax with, because that old wax just isn't going to smell anymore. The old candle will have a little bit of scent left, but not enough for the new wax. You'll need a cup or a jar to put the new candle in. I picked these up at TJ Maxx, but I get some from flea markets or thrift stores. I figure the cuter the candle, the more expensive it's going to be. Kitchen tongs, tweezers, a pencil, and then you can pick up these candle wicks at any craft store in the candle making aisle. Same with the oil. If you don't have enough wax remnants, you can buy paraffin wax, soy wax, or beeswax to kind of fill the excess area. You'll need popsicle sticks or shish kebab sticks, and a hot pad, and a measuring cup. I use a measuring cup just for candles because you're going to have some of that excess wax left on it, and you don't want to use that for baking afterwards. While that water is getting hot, go ahead and place your candle that you're going to use. Mine just doesn't light anymore, it's almost out. And go ahead and place that in there. If you have too much water, just dump it. If you don't have enough, just add a little bit more water. And while that's coming to a boil, you can go ahead with your hot glue gun and place the wick. Just one single wick. You're going to get your cup, and you're going to place the hot glue into the very center of the cup so that the wick's in the center. Again, that hot glue is going to be very hot, so just be careful. Make sure if you're doing this for the first time that you have something to put your hot glue gun back down on, because it is very hot. Go ahead and grab your pencil and place that candle wick just in the middle with that hot glue. Push down a little and hold just until it's mostly melted. And then you're going to take your pencil and roll it down. That wick did not want to stay. All right. It's going to look something like this when it's done. You're just going to roll it down until your pencil stays right on top of the cup. While that wax is melting, you can use a shish kebab stick or a popsicle stick to stir. Melting the wax is going to take the longest for these steps. to make a candle. These are some of the other ones that I found. I found these adorable cups at a thrift store, and I gave these away for Christmas gifts last year. I'll probably do the same this year. This is another one. I reused a mason jar that we had. It didn't quite come up all the way to the top, but again, that one's just for here, for the house. Read the back of your oil and see how many drops you're going to put in. I usually double it just because I like the scent a lot. And the colors that I'm going to do today are purple mixed with a couple just bland white ones, and of course that purple candle that I'm melting right now. And my scent is going to be lavender. If you have fresh herbs that you want to add, you can definitely add those to the wax while it's melted. It'll just add to the aroma overall when it's lit. Just keep stirring your wax as it's melting. If you can break it up with your popsicle stick or your shish kebab stick, it'll help melt faster. And if you're doing more than one candle, you can melt them at the same time. It just is as big, you just might need a bigger pan. Alright, I'm just going to re-glue this one. This one didn't want to stay down. And the candle wicks are pretty inexpensive, along with the wax and the oil. You're probably about under $20, so you get the price of everything for about the cost of 2 candles at the store. And you can make six candles or so with the oil and the wicks. And then just depending on how much you spend on the coffee mugs or jars, you can reuse the jars that the candles originally came in. And that'll bring your cost overall down. Alright, just keep stirring that. And again, it's going to be very hot, so if you want to wear an oven mitt to stir, you're more than willing to. If you have a silicone hot pad, the wax won't stick to it if you have any spillage, so that's nice. You can just kind of peel off that wax. It does make a mess if you spill any of the wax, so just keep that in mind. And if you are going to use the wax right away, you can pour into the cup, or you can pour into a wax burner to hold it until you're ready to melt everything all together with these ones. And to get the wax out of the wax burner, you'll just put it in the freezer for 10 to 20 minutes and it'll be easy to remove. While your wax is melting, you may see that the wick has already come up, and you can use your tweezers to grab that wick, or you can wait till it's out of the boiling water. In the meantime, you can, if you're making more than one candle, you can place your wicks for multiple candles while you're waiting for that wax to melt. And if you're done, if you're just going to do one candle, just unplug that hot glue gun, just because it does get really hot. And if you're doing this as a child, just make sure you have an adult around at all times, because you are going to have to use the stove or a kitchen burner. Once your wax is melted, you're going to remove the jar from the stove and place it on your hot pad. You're going to take your tweezers and pull out the candle wick, the old candle wick, and then you'll pour the wax into a measuring cup or onto a wax burner. I'm going to use the measuring cup since I'm going to be melting my wax very shortly. And like I said, it's going to have some scent left since it's still the candle. But I'm going to add the other wax. Just break it up into little pieces. It'll melt faster by doing that. And again, try to keep the colors the same, just because you don't want to turn into a brown candle. If you are going to use a brown candle, I would recommend like a pumpkin or cider smell, maybe apple cinnamon, if you kind of want to make all of the colors together. If you have a brown candle that smells like lavender, it might look a little weird. But if you're just going to keep it for your house, then that's completely up to you. Just go ahead and keep breaking up your wax into small pieces, and then you're going to place back into the boiling water. And you're going to gently stir. This can take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes depending on the size of your wax and how much water you have in the bottom. I have a rather large measuring cup, but some measuring cups only hold a cup, so you may have to do 2 different steps for this step to get more of the wax. This one doesn't want to break. All right. All right, and then once it's all done, I'm going to add fresh herbs. We're going to place this back into the hot boiling water. I'm going to add a little more water. And then once that's all melted, I will put in my adorable little mug, and I will have a brand new candle. Once it's all cooled off, you'll trim the excess wick. And you'll have a brand new candle. Thanks for watching. Again, if you're going to do this as a child, please just make sure you have an adult around at all times. These make great Christmas gifts. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.